Um, parang meron kasing surge ng news regarding former spokesperson Harry Roque about
Former colleague nyo.
former colleague namin sa UP College of Law, no. So may mga balita about yung red notice, and then si Harry din has been going on the offensive talking about yung case laban sa kanya. So we thought we should discuss some of these issues, and syempre ang ating guest for tonight, Prof. Ted De.
Gusto talaga nating malaman kung kailan ba mapapauwi ng gobyerno si Harry Roque. Okay.
Yung bang issue mo?
Oo. Yun ang gusto ko malaman. Dami natin discussion kay Harry. But magandang gabi po sa ating guest for tonight, si Professor Ted De.
Magandang gabi, Prof. Shelo, Prof. Dan.
Yan. Cream law ang expertise niya.
Tapos
member siya ng FLAG, if you remember, dun sa ating mga preview at sa ating mga audience, no? Okay, Ted. Nagsimula to nung na-convict si Alice Guo for qualified trafficking. At ito yung nagsimula yung news, no? But her case is not related to Harry's. Is that correct?
Yes. If I understand the case correctly, no, it's not. It's not related. Iba yung kay Harry. Kasi yung kay Harry, if I remember correctly, nag-umpisa yan yung unang investigations sa House on yung mga POGO-related companies, diba? And then I think there was a corporation, wherein I think he acted as counsel, and then later on, na-discover na parang may connection siya more than being a counsel. And then the House, I think, called him. He appeared twice, I think. And then later on, hindi siya sumipot, di ba? And then afterwards, yun na, umalis na siya. And so that's how it started. And then I guess nagpatuloy yung investigasyon ng House doon sa incident na yun without him, kasi nasa labas na siya. And then umabot na dito ngayon sa case na ito, no, against Harry. Trafficking persons pa rin yata, if I'm not mistaken.
Yun nga, trafficking din. It's the same POGO. Correct? Pero different.
I think so.
Pero different kasi iba yung role niya.
Iba yung role, yes.
No. Pero kasi ang ina-argue ni Harry ay ang trabaho lang niya ay lawyering for the company. So bakit siya kinakasuhan ngayon ng human trafficking kung ang ginalawa lang naman daw niya ay yung trabaho ng ordinaryong abogado?
Well, actually, interesting nga din makita kung ano yung I have not read the information though. No? I have just seen what has been reported. No? But then I think that's actually a good question to ask kasi kung depende sa allegation ng information. But obviously, kung may final na information, the DOJ or perhaps the ombudsman would probably have found probable cause, and the standard now for probable cause is a bit higher, mas mataas na probable cause with sufficient basis to a reasonable expectation of conviction, no? So in a sense, mas matimbang yung ebidensya dun pa lang sa preliminary investigation to warrant the filing of information, no? So they might have found something more than just simply his being a lawyer to connect him. If I'm not mistaken, there was some discussion about a house in Baguio wherein nandun nakita yung mga nag-ooperate. So parang may connection siya in terms of not just being a lawyer, but supposedly in participation, no, in the operation. But I guess those would be the allegations. But again, I have not read the actual information.
Because how do we define lawyering? Kapag sinasabing lawyering ka lang, ano ba yung role mo if you're a lawyering for a corporation?
Well, legal advice, di ba? You give legal advice, you if it's for a corporation or yung tinatawag natin yung juridical entity, depende kung ano pangangailangan ng corporation, no? Pwedeng sa pag-umpisa pa lang, yung sa pag-organisa ng korporasyon, ikaw yung nag-aasikaso ng mga papeles, no? And then some lawyers sit on the board of a corporation, or either as the president, or for some they are the corporate secretary. So they keep the records, they know what's going on in terms of the corporation. So in terms of lawyering for corporations, yun yung madalas na nangyayari, no? Nagbibigay ng opinion, nagtatanong yung korporasyon, pwede ba namin gawin to? Anong mga risk dito, anong mga benefit dito legally, no? So ganun yung usual na ginagawa ng corporate lawyer in relation to a corporation. So beyond that, I don't think magiging lawyering na. Kung may ginawa ng iba, yung abogado, no, for example, kung merong illegal na ginawa, no, yung korporasyon o yung mga kasamahan sa korporasyon, at either sinang-ayunan na yun or sumali siya, then maaari nating sabihin hindi na siguro pag-aabogado lang yun, no, kasi kasama na siya doon.
Ito na yung mga Hollywood movies na hiding the bodies.
Si Harry Roque was not hiding the bodies. Ang nalink sa kanya was hiding two Pogo individuals. Two individuals involved in Pogo na naaresto dito sa Tuba Benguet property, na kung saan pag tiningnan mo yung beneficial owner, lumalabas si Harry Roque as one of the beneficial owners of the property. So ano ba yan? Harboring ayan. And then of course isa pa doon ay sinasabi niya na pinalease niya yung, hindi niya sinasabi na pinalease niya sa isang Chinese national yung residential house na yun, na sinasabi niya legal resident, pero maraming question dahil link nga ito sa Pogo operation. So
yes.
Okay. Bakit parang ngayon lang siya hinahabol? I mean, after the Guo decision. I mean, alam ko the warrant has been issued like a long time ago. Pero wala namang talk about red notice, wala namang cancellation of passports. And then all of a sudden, all of these things come out. Kaya siya, I guess, on the defensive, di ba?
Yeah, yun din actually yung tanong ko eh. Kasi kung halimbawa, kung may warrant na talaga at maaari naman talaga nilang arestuhin at may basihan na under the law to, for example, cancel his passport, which they just did, no? Siguro matagal nang naibalik, no? O di kaya matagal nang naging fugitive kung hindi pa rin siya bumalik, no? Pero in terms of the timing, strange din yun eh, kasi nga kung kailan naglalabasan lahat ng mga other cases ay biglang pumutok din itong kay Harry, no? So I'm not too sure now why yun yung timing, no? Pwedeng nagkataon lang or pwedeng merong gusto silang gawin in terms of a statement.
And okay, what would that statement be?
I don't know. I really don't know also. Kasi nga more in the past, months, no, he was really more he was busier being, speaking for Duterte out there in The Hague, and then making news, applying for asylum, supposedly na deny, no, and so people are wondering why is he still able to hop around, from country to country or stay out that long in The Hague, no? Na parang wala namang ginagawa. Ngayon, kung may kaso talaga dito sa Pilipinas na dapat siyang harapin, maaari nang talagang gawa na paraan para ipatupad yung warrant of arrest, no? So curious din yun.
So ngayon na ito na daw, this afternoon na-cancel na yung passport ni Harry. What will happen? Anong consequence nun?
Effectively, he is already out there without a valid travel document, no? So yung kanyang kung nasan siya ngayon, yung state can actually, already deport him, no? That's as far as I understand, no? Kasi yung passport naman kailangan niyo for travel, for valid travel. So pwede na siyang in a sense mas madali siyang pabalikin kasi hindi na siya pwede lumipat-lipat, no? At best he could probably stay where he is, no? But hindi siya makalipat na ibang bansa kasi hindi siya maka-travel diba? So unless he gets a travel authority, but which I doubt they will grant.
Okay. But one of the other things na he's taking issue with itong red notice, no? And he says hindi yan warrant. And it cannot override yung fact sinasabi niya that he is an applicant for asylum. So yan yung second defense niya, di ba? Isa yung lawyering by itself is not an offense. So wala raw kayong ebidensya by kayo, I mean the government. So therefore harassment lang to. And secondly, nag-apply siya sa asylum.
First, di ba, there has to be a court procedure kasi kinasuhan siya to be able to say na pumunta siya dito and defend himself.
Yes, actually.
He cannot just hide and say walang kaso sa akin. May kaso na
Tama si Cielo kasi nga yun these are defenses, no, that are properly available to him pag na humarap na siya sa korte, no? Kasi may final na case at may warrant na nilabas So regardless of the merits, no, regardless of what he personally may think of the merits, may kaso, no? So hindi naman na pwedeng sabihin na walang kaso. May kaso no? How strong, how weak, that is up to him and that is up to the processes of the court, no? Kung may depensa, edi iharap yung depensa. And then yung pangalawa, yung red notice, yung red notice is it's like an agreement, no? As far as Interpol is concerned, but there is a warrant na in-issue as far as I understand by a local court, no? And so the question na lang, again, question yun, defense pa rin yun. Later on, kung gusto niya questionin yun, na pag halimbawa, dinala na siya, no? Hinuli siya doon kung nasan siya, at dinala siya dito sa Pilipinas, pwede na erase yun as a defense in the local court, no? Yung sa asylum niya, well, again, if reports are to be believed, supposedly hindi naman na-grant, no? So maybe the DFA could clarify that further kasi sila yung mas nakakaalam dyan sa ganyan, no? Pwede na kausapin yung state na kung saan siya nag-apply ng asylum, kung totoo nga ba na i-grant siya ng asylum, kung ano status ng asylum. So again, these are all defenses that he can raise, but hindi siya defense against an arrest which can be enforced, no? So there is a warrant, and so the question now would be how that warrant can be enforced.
Attorney Ted, baka pwede natin i-clarify kasi lagi yung binabanggit yung asylum na yan and baka may mga kababayan tayo na hindi naiintindihan kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng asylum, kanino to ay ginagrant, paano mag-apply?
Usually yung asylum kasi status yan ng isang na hinihingi ng isang citizen ng isang bansa sa ibang bansa, no? Hiningi na sa ibang bansa dahil ang usual na dahilan is that nanganganib siya, no, para sa buhay niya doon sa sarili niyang bansa. At hindi na siya maaring bumalik doon, hindi siya maaring tumira doon dahil nga nanganganib yung buhay niya. Usually this arises out of political persecutions, no? So ganon yung pinaka-simpleng paliwanag, no? At kung i-grant siya ng asylum ng yung pangalawang bansa, ibig sabihin i-assure siya ng bansang yun na protektado siya. Ipoprotektahan siya ng bansang yun kahit na hindi niya bansa yun, no? Kahit na hindi siya citizen ng bansang yun, poprotektahan siya doon against his own country. basically.
Pero
no?
ang
So,
assumption
ganun yung
nun
effect.
parang posibleng magkaroon ng violation ng basic human rights ng isang
Yes.
tao. Kaya ka nagsisik ng asylum on the
It's a human
basis of
rights
the
issue.
protection of your human rights,
Yes,
diba?
it's a human rights issue. Nanganganib yung buhay niya, nanganganib yung dahil sa paglabag sa karapatan niya, no? Maaring political prisoner yan, maaring na-torture yan, maaring political dissenter yan, na nanganganib yung kanyang buhay, kanyang karapatan. Kung kaya't pag umalis siya sa bansa, no, at tumira siya sa ibang bansa, hingi siya ng asylum para protektahan siya.
Yeah.
No?
Oo.
Ganun yung nangyayari. Medyo extraordinary yan, hindi yan pangkaraniwan. No?
Yeah.
Kung kaya, hindi yan basta-basta na ina-applyan.
Correct. Attorney Ted, so yun yung question ko kasi I'm sure kung saang bansa man siya nag-a-apply ng asylum, they will look at what he also did in a country. They cannot just easily grant you asylum on the basis na mukhang the government is after you, but what did you do as a person in your country for the government to issue a warrant of arrest sa'yo?
Yes, tama yun. Kasi kailangan i-verify yung objective basis ng sinasabing persecution, yung violation ng yung karapatan ng tao, pantao. So, tama ka na kung saan siya mag-a-apply, mag-uusap yan, no? Kaya ko sinabi baka yung DFA yung mas angkop na agency na tanungin kasi kung meron bang communication, for example, no, yung bansang yon sa atin through the DFA to say ano ba talaga yung sitwasyon, no, dito sa nag-a-apply na ito, no? Ito ba talaga ay politically persecuted person? Ito ba talaga ay ganito. So pag nakita nila halimbawa na ito pala yung situation, maaaring maging decision to say hindi ka naman pala effectively politically persecuted person, hindi pala nalabag yung karapatang tao mo. So depende sa objective basis na makikita nila. Or kung hindi nila makikita yung objective basis, doon sila gagalaw. No? So yun, it's not a usual procedure at hindi siya yung madali ang procedure. No? If you recall, si Joma Sison, for the longest time, had been applying for asylum. No? At nade-deny siya. No? Nade-deny siya sa Netherlands. No? Hanggang sa kinamatayan na niya yun, hindi na siya nag-grant asylum. And ang ground niya nun was, again, persecuted siya, hindi siya maaaring bumalik sa Pilipinas, etc. No? But of course, that's a totally different factual situation. No?
Yeah.
But it's just, in a way, ironic na si Harry, ay sinasabi niya ngayon yan, na nag-claim siya ng asylum. No? So, ang pinaka-sitwasyon na maaaring na-claim is that nalalabag yung karapatang tao niya ng Estado ng Pilipinas. No? And that politically persecuted siya. So, tama ka, Shelo, na kailangan tingnan ng yung state kung saan siya nag-a-apply, kung tama yun, kung may basihan yun, no? Kung may basihan to say na politically persecuted siya.
Pero syempre, kahit sinasabi naman natin, kahit suspected criminals, may karapatang pangtao. So si Harry Roque, may karapatang pangtao pa rin naman siya. Pero, itong countries na pinag-a-applyan niya are definitely aware kasi Europe to at nandun ng ICC at pinag-uusapan si Duterte at alam na si Harry Roque ay instrumento ng Duterte regime para dun sa lahat ng kaso na itinatapon ngayon kay Duterte. So, do you think that will be a factor dito sa pag-grant ng asylum kay Harry Roque? Especially now na aside from the political prosecution sa yung involvement niya sa EJK at yung pagpapalalim ng kapangyarihan ni Duterte nung panahon niya, involved pa siya ngayon, sinasabing involved pa siya ngayon sa mga criminal activities katulad ng Pogo.
Yeah, I think titingnan nila yung buong picture, no? So they'll probably get a more comprehensive picture. Most likely to the DFA, no, or to the DOJ, no, at sigurado ibibigay yan, no, ipapaliwanag kung sino siya, ano yung naging background niya, no, at ano yung basis ng mga kaso na against him, no. So I'm sure kung humingi yung applicant state, no, ay magbibigay yung Pilipinas at tama ka, makikita doon na yung nag-umpisa ito dun sa investigation tungkol sa Pogo, no? Na involved ang China, biglang mauwi dun sa sangkot din pala siya dun sa some of the things that, you know, in a sense, because he was speaking for Duterte, no? He was, in fact, his main disposition at the time was, huwag niyong pansinin niya, nagbibiro lang yan, di ba? If you remember that, no? So actually, nano-normalize niya yung mga EJ case, no? And in Europe, of course, that's a big deal, no? They take human rights very, very seriously, no? And so yun yung ironic dito na ang kiniklaim nga niya na may paglabag, no, sa karapatang pantao niya, pero yun nga din kumbaga ang dinidepensahan niya ay ngayon ay nahaharap sa ICC for crimes against humanity, no, na talagang isa sa pinakasukdulang offense, no, under the Rome Statute, no. So yeah, I mean that is an interesting situation, but again, yung ganung depensa yan pwede na i-raise dito yan, pero pag halimbawa inaresto na siya, kung wala pa namang asylum na ginagrant sa kanya, hindi na maaaring sabihin just because I'm applying ay, you know,
that's
hindi niya ako pwede arestohin.
That's my next question, di ba? It's either na-deny na, which is something we heard a few months ago, or he's still applying, in which case he cannot enjoy yung benefits ng asylum grant.
Unless again, you know, he can always resort to the local courts there sa Hague, no, and you know, maybe get an injunction, but I don't know kung ano yung, hindi naman ako lawyer doon, so hindi ko alam kung merong ganong equivalent, but you know, that's the closest you can get, no, kung halimbawa alam niya na mukhang arrestoy na ako at pending yung aking application at hindi ko naman maaaring pigilan yung pag-aresto dahil sa di humingi siya ng dumulog siya dun sa local courts. But I don't know if that's what he'll do, or you know, there's always the political side, no, the political angle na talagang kita nyo, dinadampot ako dito, no, persecuted talaga ako. That, you know, that plays into the narrative, no? That plays into the narrative.
Actually, may isa pang problema si Harry Roque kasi yung pag-establish nung narrative niya na he's being prosecuted, etc., pero hindi naman niya pa in-engage yung court system because even before bigyan niya yung sarili niya ng opportunity to defend himself in court, tumakas na siya, diba?
Yeah.
And I think that will add also dun sa gravity ng kung anumang defense ang gagamitin niya sa or argument or magmamakaawa para makakuha ng asylum. Kasi parang, ano nga ba yung evidence that the government is after him, especially if he's accused of committing a crime?
Yes. In fact, when he left, no, nasa Congress pa lang yung investigasyon.
Yeah.
Hindi pa lumalabas ng Kongreso, di ba? Siyempre nangyari niya after nung umalis na siya at hindi na siya bumabalik, no?
Yeah.
So, nagpatuloy yung kaso, umabot na dun sa pagsampa ng kaso sa korte at pag-issue ng warrant. So, again, tama ka, may karapatan talaga siya to due process, no? Again, very ironic kasi nga ito yung panahon na ni Duterte na talagang yung due process isinantabi. Pero you know, he can have his day in court and he can actually argue those defenses in court, no? In a Philippine court, to resist any charges that he may think are flimsy or whatever. Pero dito niya iharap, no? Dito niya i-erase yung mga defenses na yun.
Correct. And the government can argue that this is just a regular process of enforcing the law, or you know, diba? Kinasuhan siya so there's no irregularity here, there's no violation of his human rights.
in fact, may isang pa dyan kasi di ba yung main narrative ng mga nag-object dun sa pag-aresto kay Duterte ay walang local warrant. Di ba? ICC kasi yon. Ngayon may local warrant So, parang sinasabi nila, pati local warrant hindi pwedeng i-enforce. Di ba? So, ano na ba talaga? Di ba? Ano na ba talaga? So, on one end, they're arguing that you know, dapat nag-issue ng local warrant bago dalhin si Duterte sa ICC. Pero for Harry, is he saying now that a local warrant, a warrant by a local court, a Philippine court, cannot be enforced just because he remains out of the country, no? And just because nag-apply siya for asylum na hindi pa granted. So again, yung question na yan, alam naman natin na hindi naman talaga obra yan kung i-raise na dito. Pero syempre, it plays into the narrative eh.
Tsaka yung isang irony, no? Sinasabi nilang Duterte can be tried locally. Walang problema sa ating court system.
Walang problema sa court system.
Except pag ikaw na yung inahabol.
Pag si Roque, ayaw niya.
Ayaw niya sa local court system. Kaya nga, medyo strange talaga yung mga arguments eh.
Yeah.
But basta convenient sa kanila. But ito, I wanna know your judgment because a lot of people perceive na kaya siya malaya ngayon at nasa abroad ay nagagamit niya yung kanyang knowledge of international law. Kasi diba sinasabi niya he's an expert of international law. And then there's another question here, si Gift. Related to that, there is this concept of refoulement, which is a ban on returning asylum seekers even at the stage of application. Does this apply to Harry? Yung question ko actually is, do you really believe he has an expertise in international law and that he's able to apply it now to avoid yung Philippine government, or he's just using it, claiming to be, what he's doing is based on his expertise of international law, but it's essentially a fugitive.
Expert fugitive.
Sagutin mo muna. Ikaw muna.
Kasi syempre, perception management yan eh. I'm an expert in international law and everything that I'm doing is within that international law realm. Diba? I'm using international law to protect myself. But
yung ibang merong magko-comment na they don't understand what Harry is talking about, diba? Kasi there was a time na halimbawa, gagamitin daw niya yung ibang human rights charter to get Duterte out of the ICC. Di ba? Yung mga dami siyang sinasabi expert siya ang dating.
So I want to know your opinion kasi dito ina-unbundle natin lahat. Kasi ayaw natin na naloloko yung mga taong bayan by using highfalutin words or highfalutin terms or provisions of, documents or charter na hindi naman talaga nag-a-apply. So,
well, he taught the subject
for
years.
Nga. But is he using it to may legal defense ba talaga doon sa mga sinasabi niya at ginagawa niya at aksyon niya ngayon? Based on international law.
That's why we invited Ted.
That's my question to both of you.
Hindi, yung niraise niya yung non-refoulement. It's a French word.
French.
But again, it's a defense. It's a defense. And at this point, ang question doon is pag halimbawa i-enforce sa kanya yung warrant, no? Saan niya i-erase yun? So, hindi naman niya pwedeng erase lang yun without going to a court, no? So, would he now go to a local court there in The Hague and then ask The Hague to, that court, local court, to stop the Philippines from arresting him on the basis of a local warrant because it would violate the principle of non-refoulement. Diba na basically that by removing him from The Hague where he is now because he has a cancelled passport, hindi siya makalakad, no, that he will then be subjected to again, no, political persecution, human rights violations, torture, and the like, no, in his home state, right? So again, papakita niya dapat yun, no?
Yeah.
Parang yung sa asylum uli yan eh.
Correct.
Para makumbinsin niya, no, na dapat i-bar, no, yung Philippine state from enforcing a local warrant, kailangan pakita niya na may paglabag or may intensyon na labagin yung kanyang karapatang tao, no, dito sa kanyang local country. Kaya siya hindi pwedeng tanggalin, no? Medyo mahirap kasing tanggapin na argument niya because that principle usually applies, no, to talaga yung political dissenters, no, na alam mong nanganganib talaga yung buhay nila, na talagang they had no choice except to leave their country because they were really, in danger of being killed, no, and their families, no. So doon sa tanong mo, Cielo, na alam ba talaga ng international law? Well, yes, he taught international law, but in terms of applying it, no, in this particular context, medyo tingin ko baka hindi naman accurate, no, kasi nga that the principle should really apply to those extreme situations na talagang alam mong pag binalik yan sa bayan niya, ipapatayin yan, no, or talagang ikukulong yan, or isa-subject yan sa death penalty, no. Doon level yung argument. Kasi ang principle kasi diyan, you will override the sovereignty of another state. You know, basically sasabihin mo, nandyan na kami, may warrant kayo, pero hindi namin papayagan kahit na sovereign kayo. Hindi niyo pwedeng enforce yan laban sa sarili niyong kababayan. Basically, yun ang sasabihin ng local state, no? That court will have to say that, no? Nandun ba tayo dun sa sitwasyon na yun? I don't know. I don't think so, no? Again, babalik dun sa objective basis. Meron bang threat, no? Again, hindi pwedeng sabihin all this is political, no? Political is different from pag sinabi mo may human rights violations, threatened violations, right? And then, of course, when you say political, it can also be, partisan in relation to, political affiliations. So in that sense, yes, it's political because he's speaking for Duterte, right? In relation to a president who he has taken issue with, no? So in that sense, yes, political, no? Pero yung bang violations ng rights, no? Political persecution for exercising his rights in his country, no? Yun ba yung hinaharap niya pag dinala siya dito? Mukhang hindi naman kasi nga umalis nga siya bago man lang umabot dun sa puntong na ilatag na tong depensang ito Kasi for example, if he were here and the cases had been filed, no? Then he would have raised those issues already.
Yeah.
Habang nandito, diba?
At saka parang feeling ko titingnan nila yung history ng bansa at saka track record ng bansa Yung Pilipinas may track record ng pagpatay sa mga human rights defenders, mga aktivista, mga lumalaban para sa human rights. Pero may track record tayo ng pag-ignore, pagprotekta sa mga corrupt at di ba? Evidence. And really, haba ng buhay niya. Wala naman na harm sa kanya. So Harry can come back. The Marcoses are back. Di ba?
Oo naman.
Diba? So,
excuse me. So, fugitive siya?
How long will it take?
Yan ang tanong. Fugitive siya in a sense that canceled yung passport niya. No, may warrant against him. So, I don't know how long it will take. Sana inibita mo, Dan, si Nikki T. Justice, diba? Baka hindi magsasalita si Nikki kasi syempre
ang daming madaming proseso.
Maraming proseso yan. And I'm sure may mga coordination na nangyayari yan, no? Yung red notice and everything. And then may mga, I'm sure may mga diplomatic discussions na yan. Kasi nga, lalabas ka ng bansa to enforce an order of a local court, di ba? So syempre may mga coordination na ginagawa yan. I'm sure ginagawa na nila yan.
So isang factor dun sa bilis or bagal ng mga mangyayari would be the process in that country where he is right now.
Yes, right. Yes.
Okay na.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. Maraming salamat.
Sabi pala ni Gift, being a fugitive is a disqualification for asylum. Tama ba yun?
Hindi ko alam.
As far as I remember, I think so, yes. Although yun nga, hindi din sigurado dun sa kanyang asylum application. Kasi nga, nabalita na deny, di ba? So, again, could be nag-appeal siya uli, parang ginawa ni Joma, no? Madami siyang appeals And so, pending yung appeal. So, I don't know. That might be the case.
But this is Europe and Europe is very strong on human rights.
Very strong.
And ganyang mga bagay, diba? So,
definitely. Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
But, maraming salamat, Attorney Ted, Prof. Ted, sa pagsama mo ulit. At pagpapaliwanag kung ano nga ba ang sitwasyon ni Harry Roque.
Diba? Next time, invitahin niyo sa Harry.
Pwede din.
We did before.
Kakanta yun. Kakanta yun. Hindi yung ginawa ni Zaldico. Talagang kakanta yun.
Literally.
Literally.
nung time na nasa sa Congress pa lang siya, invite namin siya. But hindi niya nakita yung invitation for a long time. Tapos sabi niya na he's in transit. Yun na yung sinabi niya. So nawala.
Nawala na.
Oo.
Well, kaya nagpa-unlock siya kay Kaloy eh.
Oh.
Conde.
Conde. Yeah, Kaloy Conde interview din. Kung ayaw siya kay Kaloy. So,
okay na yun. Doon na lang.
Doon na lang daw siya.
I don't wanna give him a platform anymore.
Yeah.
Nagbablog naman siya on his own eh. So, I think that's enough.
That's true.
Alright. Thank you, Prof. Ted. Hanggang sa uulitin. Magandang gabi po.
Anytime. Sige. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ayan po. So, nadinig natin ng sinabi ni Attorney Ted. Gusto mo i-summarize? Doon ako sa next topic natin.
ang concern ko talaga yung dalawang defenses ni Harry as he has been saying. Kasi nga, madalas siya ngayon sa social media, yung mga dramatic messages. Mm-hmm. Yung isa nga, yung wala naman daw kaso against him except that he was the lawyer for the Pogo. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Prof. Te. Then you bring it up as a defense sa kaso mo.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? The other one is, yun na nga, more technical for me, yung bang, is the fact na aplikante siya for asylum, is it enough to insulate him from arrest? Parang hindi rin, di ba? Hindi rin agree si
Oo, kasi yung discussion nga natin, even if it's pending, the country will also evaluate it as if it's an application to asylum, yung mga criteria sa pag-grant ng asylum. So, ang pinaka-importanting tanong dito ay grant nga ba ng asylum si Harry Roque? Diba? Yun yung basic question na sasagutin ng mga host countries kasi kung palipat-lipat siya, diba? Ng host country niya ngayon, hindi na pala siya makakalipat dahil wala siyang passport. Yun yung basic na tanong. Kung ang sa akin nga ay hindi pa niya ini-engage, hindi pa niya tinatap yung court system natin dahil hindi pa naman niya dinidepensahan yung sarili niya. Wala namang pagpapatunay na he will be put in harm pag uuwi siya.
Yeah.
Diba?
Parang, or wala naman siyang other cases na he can point to. Tingnan mo nangyari, sabi niya. He cannot say, tingnan mo nangyari dun sa mga dating tao ni Duterte. Diba? Or sabihin mo, pero may crime against humanitarian doon or si Kibuloy is wanted by the FBI. So
because of all the other things, money laundering, human trafficking,
it's basis for the cases filed against these people.
Palagi mo ba mag-apply na asylum si Kibuloy? Tatanggapin yun. Wanted nga siya sa US.